For months, astronomers assured us that 3I, ATLAS would be nothing more than a spectacular flyby. A harmless interstellar visitor, blazing through the inner solar system before vanishing back into the black between stars. The calculations were confident. The margins were wide. Mars, they said, was never in danger. But the universe rarely follows our expectations. And James Webb, the most sensitive eye humanity has ever placed in space, has just delivered data that changes everything. The numbers have shifted. The trajectory has tightened. And for the first time, scientists are quietly acknowledging a possibility no one wanted to consider. 3I, ATLAS may not miss Mars. This is no longer just a story about a comet. It's about precision behavior, clock-like gas pulses, and an object that doesn't drift the way natural bodies do. The deeper researchers go into the data, the harder it becomes to ignore a disturbing conclusion. 3I, Atlas isn't wandering. It's adjusting. When 3I, ATLAS was first detected on July 1st, it appeared unremarkable at a glance. A fast-moving blur with a luminous coma, entering the solar system on a hyperbolic trajectory. But its velocity immediately stood out, nearly 87 km per second relative to the Sun. At that speed, it could cross the distance between Earth and the Moon in under 80 minutes. Velocity alone, however, wasn't what alarmed astronomers. It was behavior. Most comets slow, fragment, or stabilize as solar heating strips away volatile ice. Their paths wobble unpredictably. Their outgassing is chaotic. But 3I, ATLAS did the opposite. It accelerated, subtly, consistently, and its trajectory began to tighten. Tiny course corrections appeared in orbital solutions. Its coma doubled in brightness within weeks. Spectral analysis revealed extreme ultraviolet spikes and carbon dioxide outgassing at levels never recorded for a body of its size. This was not passive sublimation. It looked directional. Then James Webb's deep field instruments detected something no one expected. Not random jets, not chaotic plumes, but rhythmic pulses emanating from the tail. Perfectly spaced. Repeating every 17 minutes. Over and over again. Natural processes do not behave like clocks. As Webb's observations were combined with data from Gemini South and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the story grew darker. The projected missed distance from Mars shrank dramatically, down to 1.95 million kilometers. In cosmic terms, that's a razor's edge. Simulations showed that a velocity change of just 10 kilometers per second, a fraction of what the gas pulses could theoretically provide, would be enough to shift the trajectory into a direct impact. A whisper of thrust. And Mars becomes ground zero. What disturbed scientists most wasn't the risk of impact, it was the implication of control. The gas emissions appeared aligned with Mars's orbital plane. The timing of the pulses matched windows where minimal energy input would produce maximal trajectory change. This is exactly how spacecraft perform course corrections. No known comet does this. At that point, the conversation quietly changed. Astronomers were no longer just tracking an object. They were watching something aim. Between September 19th and 30th, even a single intensified outburst could be enough to seal Mars's fate. Then came the paper that pushed the debate into forbidden territory. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb and collaborators proposed a radical possibility, that 3I, ATLAS may not be a natural object at all, but an engineered probe. The claim was explosive, but the data refused to go away. Radar reflections from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and Goldstone antennas returned signals inconsistent with porous ice or dusty rock. The echoes were sharp. Metallic. Structured. Internally, some NASA analysts described them as non-cometary. Amateur astronomers added another layer. High-exposure images revealed faint, needle-thin green streams converging toward Mars, pulsing in sync with the gas emissions. 3 beams. Aligned. Persistent. This was no longer fringe speculation. If 3I Atlas were to impact Mars, the consequences would be staggering. With an estimated mass near 10 billion tons and an impact velocity of 57 kilometers per second, the energy release would exceed 2 million megatons, thousands of times greater than any nuclear weapon ever detonated on Earth. The resulting crater would be roughly 60 kilometers wide and 5 kilometers deep, ejecting debris into Martian orbit and beyond. Some of that debris would not stay on Mars. But the physical damage is only part of the story. Mars is saturated with scientific infrastructure, rovers, orbiters, subsurface experiments, decades of climate and geological data. An impact would erase irreplaceable research and potentially contaminate regions long suspected of harboring subsurface life. And that's where the fear truly deepens. Mars isn't just a target. It's a laboratory for understanding life beyond Earth. Subsurface brines. Ancient microbial niches. Fossilized ecosystems locked in permafrost. If 3I Atlas carries organic, or engineered, material, an impact could introduce foreign biology into an alien environment. Not panspermia from Mars to Earth, but into Mars. A delivery, not a collision. James Webb's final ultra-deep scan added fuel to the fire. Portions of the data were classified for 48 hours before a limited release. Leaks suggested something far stranger. Spectrographic analysis detected traces of synthetic polymers, carbon nanotube-like structures intermixed with natural gases. These are not compounds that form through cometary heating. They require design. Isotopic ratios of carbon and hydrogen also failed to match anything in the solar system. In short, 3I Atlas contains things that should not exist in interstellar space. Then NASA went quiet. Press briefings stopped. Mars rover telemetry showed unexplained gaps. Questions about impact probabilities were redirected or ignored. Behind closed doors, planetary defense discussions were initiated, not about deflection, but preparedness. A leaked internal phrase surfaced briefly before disappearing from official channels. Impact protocol initiated. No one knows exactly what that means. At the SETI Institute, cryptographers took an unconventional approach. They translated 3I Atlas's trajectory, velocity shifts, and timing intervals into binary sequences. When compressed using deep space communication algorithms, patterns emerged. Atomic numbers appeared: 6, 8, 14, 26, carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron. The building blocks of life and machines. Interwoven were prime number countdowns consistent with recursive messaging systems. The object's flight path itself appeared to be a message. Not sent through radio waves, but through motion. As projections tightened further, planetary scientists noticed a chilling coincidence. The revised impact corridor passed directly over Elysium Planitia, a region of Mars known for its anomalously symmetrical terrain. Concentric ridges. Spiral flows. Fibonacci-like geometry. At its center lay a perfectly circular basin with no known impact origin. Embedded within it, crystalline silicates with unusual refractive properties that emit infrared pulses at regular intervals when struck by sunlight. A geological curiosity, or a marker? Then Webb detected something else. Trailing 3I Atlas at a fixed distance of 0.07 astronomical units was a secondary anomaly. Not debris. not gas. A moving absence, a shadow that absorbed light without reflecting or emitting heat. It maintained perfect spacing, unaffected by gravity or acceleration. Something was following it. Not escorting. Not colliding. Mirroring. As if 3I Atlas were not the primary object but the carrier. When researchers overlaid the object's approach dates with astronomical resonance cycles, another pattern emerged. September 23 Road, October 5. November 11. Dates tied to rare gravitational harmonics studied by ancient civilizations. The last comparable alignment occurred in 1908, just months before the Tunguska event. Coincidence becomes harder to defend at this scale. The most controversial data came last. Neurophysics teams studying human brainwave synchronization noticed something extraordinary. When subjects were exposed to the pulsation frequencies in 3I Atlas's light curve, their neural activity synchronized, not just individually, but across multiple subjects in isolated rooms. Neurological entrainment. A signal that didn't just transmit information, but resonance. As Mars drew closer, the planet itself began to respond. The ExoMars Trace gas orbiter detected xenon isotopes rising from beneath the surface near Cerberus Fossae. Seismic activity spiked. Subsurface temperatures rose. Magnetometers recorded structured pulses repeating every 17 minutes. Mars was matching the rhythm. Then Olympus Mons, long considered dormant, emitted a low-frequency harmonic detected independently by multiple orbiters. When visualized, it formed the same spiral waveform seen in 3I Atlas's emissions. A call. And an answer. In the final readings before data blackout, Webb identified something embedded in the object's molecular trail. A repeating nuclear sequence resembling RNA, not biological but informational. Structured for replication. Responsive. Portions mirrored human encryption logic. Others aligned with musical intervals. Life as language. As Earth, Mars, and the Sun approached a perfect linear alignment, the configuration matched ancient megalithic orientations found across the planet. Structures built thousands of years apart, unknowingly aligned to this exact geometry. This was not chance. 3I Atlas did not simply arrive. It performed. It aligned. It responded. And Mars did not react like a victim. It reacted like something remembering. The final maneuver may not leave a crater. But something has already shifted, our understanding of comets, of planets, of communication itself. Perhaps impact was never the goal. Perhaps attention was. Because whatever 3I Atlas is, it didn't come to destroy Mars.